I think it's also designed to try to get the banner so they can catch up the rest of the group to tighten it up, since I'm sure this is going to stretch well over a mile. So,
yeah, thanks be to God for our crew and their dedication that enables people to take part in the march, even if they're homebound or they're not able to take part in the march physically. They're able to be there through the miracle of television and radio and the internet and feel like they're part of it. They can be a part in their own circumstances of their lives, and they can pray certainly for the success and change of hearts.
Right, exactly. And right now, maybe we can drop in for a couple of quick bites with our social media people to see while we're watching our images of the March for Life. Michelle, you got anything quick?
Absolutely. My mom passed away recently after a 6.5-year battle with brain cancer. She says she was there for the whole journey. This is Jennifer Ann. She says, I understand how tiring, stressful, and emotional it is to have a seriously ill family member. But I saw my mom interact and fight and hope and love until her last breath. And she was able to meet 5 grandchildren she wouldn't have known if we hadn't been willing to help her fight and give her a chance. It wasn't easy, but it was right. There's no other way to describe it.
This is from Jephthah. He writes, I grew up always knowing abortion was bad, but thought it justifiable in cases of rape and incest. Now I feel completely different about those things and find nothing can justify ending life because of what I've learned watching March for Life coverage and listening to EWTN radio. Keep up the good work. Back to you, Doug.
Thanks, Mike, and thank you, Michelle, and thank you for people out there using social media to share your experiences of life and life-altering experiences with our audience around the world. This is EWTN's continuing live coverage of the 42nd Annual March for Life, coming live from Washington, D.C. And, you know, as a person who is always big on reading a lot of Civil War books, of course down here it'd be the War of Northern Aggression, but which I didn't know about till I came to Alabama. But the fact is that there's this great picture of the Grand Army of the North marching through at the end of the war with the banners raised, and that's what it looks like. We have the Grand Army of pro-lifers marching through Washington, and I don't think they can be ignored.
And this is a peaceful movement, obviously. It's a movement of just raising the awareness of the dignity of every person, of putting the truth out there for people to consider, to pray about, to look at. Because, as I said, the truth is buoyant. It always comes to the surface. We can't avoid it. Eventually it penetrates our hearts for our own conversion.
Exactly. Speaking of penetrating, we got Teresa with a penetrating interview. Teresa, right from the march. Maybe we don't quite have Teresa yet there. I thought we did, but we'll go back to her in a minute. Also, I wanted to remind everybody while you were looking at these wonderful pictures coming to you live from Washington, D.C., that you may be somebody who's watching EWTN maybe for the first time, or the only time you watch it is because of a big pro-life event like this, or maybe your kids went to it and you're hoping you'll see them on television through their school. Just a reminder that EWTN is everywhere. We have something for everybody in the pro-life, pro-family venues. And if you can't get us because you say you don't have satellite TV or cable TV, you can get us, you know, through Roku and on the radio, Sirius XM, you can listen to us. There's local radio stations. Go to our EWTN.com website and you'll find out all the different ways you can reach EWTN. There's all these materials on there as well, reference materials. So make sure you make use of those things. That's what they're there for. You'll find they're very, very helpful in navigating the culture we have today, where there's not a lot of support systems outside of things inside the church or for something like in media for an EWTN. And also just a reminder that Father Joseph and I enjoy doing this so much that we'll be here Saturday for the Walk for Life West Coast, which will be happening this Saturday. And you can look for that as well. And that's going to be on 24th of January. That's this Saturday. Father Mark will be out there. Doug Barry, Jim and Joy Pinto will be giving their testimonies, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll be here in the studio anchoring that. And that's this Saturday. So that's the Walk for Life West Coast. And again, as we continue to bring you pictures, beautiful pictures from the streets of Washington, D.C. And we have Teresa Tomiel once more. Teresa.
Yes, sorry about that, Doug. We had to do a quick battery change. Of course, we have another wonderful pro-life person. This is Leslie from Virginia with her family. Tell us why you came out here today, Leslie.
I just wanted to support this great cause, and as I was explaining to the kids, if no one came, then they would think that there was no one that was pro-life. So it's a great day. It was easy to come. The weather is good, and my daughter is here with her college, and it's just really a great thing. You feel like you're united. And
how important do you think is it to have your younger children with you to see this and to have you take them?
I think it's really good. They, like I said, they need to know they're not the only ones, that care, and this is just one way to express our...
All right. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. How's it going? You having a good time?
Yeah.
So you're speechless, right? You're so emotional about the move. Well, you know what? We're glad you're here, and you know what? About 10 years, you're going to be out there walking for life, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Have a good day. All right. We're going to keep moving, Doug. Obviously, a great turnout. As I said earlier when we were running up Constitution, I think this is the largest crowd based on the location of two large groups at 14th and 7th. Kind of two unofficial beginnings of the march. But we'll keep moving. We'll keep grabbing people. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you so much, Teresa. We'll continue to touch in with you and with some of those penetrating interviews. Again, Man on the Street, which is what you can look forward to while we keep you at the front of the march. And as we move along, we'll have some other high shots that'll show you some of the crowd as it moves ahead. That high shot you can usually get where you'll really get a feel, I think, for how many people are actually lining the streets and marching forward. And I was wondering, I hate to say it, I was a little facetiously thinking to myself when Teresa, Father, was talking about the helicopters. I'm thinking, as Father Groeschel would say, they think we're the new radicals. We're the ones, we're the terrorists you have to be worried about. We can't talk about other terrorists, but, pro-lifers are terrorists, so you never know.
Well, charity always comes back to you, as I said. And I received a wonderful letter earlier this year from a woman named Elizabeth. She's 82 years old, from Los Angeles, California. And she talked about, in her own life, her 4 older children had gone off to school. Her husband was not a very good provider, and she became pregnant again. And so it was kind of the idea that she should have an abortion. It really wasn't. They couldn't pay the bills and all these things, but she kept her little girl, even though she had to do work herself to earn a little extra income. And then she wrote, I'm now 85, and guess who takes care of me full time? The little baby I had. She turned out to be this holistic healer that has helped her with her own diabetes. Right. So charity in some way always comes back to us. And when we welcome life, when we make the sacrifices for our little ones or our elderly ones, it always comes back to us in a richer life ourselves.
Right. Exactly. Even if on the short term we don't see it, but on the long term it shows up. I mean, we can always so many times look back at things and realize, well, that's why that happened, that's why that occurred. As we said before, Father, there's one of our high shots where you can see the marchers moving forward. It sounds like some of our crew is out there trying to explain exactly who we are, whether it's to some of the people who are coordinating the event or the police, or maybe just trying to get some interviews lined up. It's really beautiful. I think this is the first year I really remember this kind of banner kind of set up like that, where it's not just kind of like a hodgepodge of banners. Is that that might be the National Right to Life, maybe with the, I couldn't tell because they have their Rose Dinner, which is tonight. So that might be something. And they have other events. You can go to their website and find out from the March for Life, not the National Right to Life, but the March for Life, about their Rose Dinner and also the other events they have. I think they even have a 5K that they run. There's some educational things. So there's other things going on around this event. And then, as Jeannie indicated when she spoke, the idea of tying in, sending pictures. That's a great way of evangelization, through the internet. It's very hard. Not everybody's called to get up in somebody's face or even stand in front of a crowd or even step out in public. But you can, take pictures of this and send it out to your friends. It's a very non-threatening way to at least raise awareness. And again, you got some wonderful pictures there. And maybe we'll touch in again with Michelle and Mike while we wait for Teresa to get some more insights from some of the people either at the site, in the field, but at least using social media. Go ahead, Michelle.
Doug, I have got a great post from a nurse we all would wish we would have when we were dying. She says that she takes care of many people at the end of their lives. They give me a gift. They give me the last years, months, weeks, and days of their life. I get to love them, to know them, to love and know their family, and then they die. Everything they do In their need and in their vulnerability, there is a sort of greatness, a sort of power. It's the power of sanctity. They are the face of Christ, and I'm the servant. This is from Betty Busiek. Betty, I'd like you to be my nurse.
Mine too. And this is from Russell. Russell writes, when I get disheartened by stories of teenagers in the news, it's so rejuvenating to see hundreds of thousands of young people coming out to make a statement for their brothers and sisters without a voice. May God bless and reward every one of them in EWTN. It's been said before, but those kids aren't the future. They are our present. Back to you, Doug.
With our pro-life insights coming from social media, and just remind people they can be in touch with us through our social media, and we'll get some of those tweets and texts on the screen, and maybe get some of them read while we also get some interviews from the man on the street, the people who've journeyed to Washington for the 42nd annual March for Life, where the theme this year is Every Life is a Gift. And we were talking about special needs children that came up, dealing with Down syndrome children, and I know one of the outreaches the church has, Jean Vanier, has worked, that society has worked with special needs and handicapped children over the years, and I know we're going to be actually shooting a documentary later this year on Jean Vanier's work in France, and so that's something else that people can look forward to.
And it was something that he really didn't intend to found a community or a movement. He welcomed these two men into his own home, but it was something that grew and developed. And that's kind of how God works, isn't it? That he may inspire something, a little work that we can do in our own environment, and then somehow it continues to grow and affect others, and they're drawn to it too.
And like with Mother, you need to be open. You start with raising peanuts to running a network. I mean, you have to be willing to change your plans and adjust them as the doors are opened, as our Lord opens and shows you the way, the lamp unto my feet. Now we've finally gotten in touch with the one and only Wyatt Goolsby, who's out there speaking with some people from Archbishop Bryan High School. Wyatt, welcome to the program.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. We are here on Constitution Avenue. We've been following all of the marchers down from 14th Street. We made our way here to Constitution in Pennsylvania, and so we're talking with a lot of the groups here, as you mentioned. First off, guys, give me each of your first names.
Maggie.
Anthony.
Giovanna.
Rebecca. I'm Ferran.
Tell me what group you guys are with.
Archbishop Bryan High School from Philadelphia.
Okay, so tell me what motivated you guys to come here from Philadelphia?
All life is important, so we wanted to come and support the cause.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems to me young people, such an important part of this March for Life. Why do you think it's important that young people come out here in full force as they are?
Well, people need to understand that every life matters and we all deserve a chance. So.
You were joking that you were just happy to be on the bus and be here with the crew. Is that right?
Yeah. I like large groups.
Of course. Well, don't we all love large groups? And it's certainly large groups is something that, like I said, guys, we have been following throughout the day from the beginning of this march. As we're going to continue to find young people like this. Like I said, something that's important, that obviously we'll continue to follow all the activity as well on Facebook and Twitter as we've been doing throughout the day. But we'll toss it back to you now.
Very good. Thank you, Wyatt. That's great. What's interesting and what struck me, Father, there's a nice wide shot, high shot. You can see part of the crowd moving. There's a power behind that movement as well. I was thinking about the fact that here you have a couple of motivated students, right? They go, but because they're motivated, they pull along some of the others who aren't so motivated, which at least gives them an opportunity and opens them up to raising their awareness about something like pro-life.
To see young people with a different perspective than maybe what they're used to seeing. Attitudes and desires that are quite different than what they may be regularly encountering in their lives.
Right. It's like we see many times if anybody, somebody accompanies somebody to visit EWTN, or somebody accompanies somebody to go to Mass, and then out of that is touched in some way, and it leads to something new and different in their lives. And once again, we touch base with Teresa, who's got some pro-lifers from maybe Michigan. How could it be Michigan? Teresa?
well, who knew? My home state of Michigan. But it's interesting that there's so many families here this time around, Doug. I mean, there's always obviously a lot of people, different age groups, a lot of young people. But I've noticed just walking along Constitution before the march started that there were a lot of people who had younger kids, 2, 3 kids, some larger families. And we have a family from, as you said, northern Michigan. This is Melissa Leesburg, and she is from way up in not quite the UP, right?
It's northern Michigan.
Northern Michigan. And this is not your first march. You've been here many times before.
Yes, probably about 10 times. Probably our 10th march.
What does it mean to you to bring your family here to this event?
It's unexplainable. I mean, if we don't have life, what do we have? And I'm glad that I don't have to teach my kids that. That's what they believe in their hearts, and that's how we're going to keep going.
But how much of them believing this is because of the environment that you bring them up in and bringing them to something like this, correct?
That is true, yes. And they can't wait to come here every year and hope to make a difference in somebody's life.
Well, they already are, obviously. Let me talk to Nicole. You were so excited. You were telling me that you really enjoy coming here. How many times is it here for you, honey?
I don't know, probably about my 3rd year.
Yeah? What do you think?
I think that it's just fun to come out here and to change people's lives. And on the bus ride here, there was this girl that helped fund this, and there was a video about this like 4th-year-old girl, and she was talking about the girl, and she was saying that it was helpful that she helped fund this.
Are you going to keep coming with Mom and your family?
Yes.
Okay, well, you are such a pretty little girl, and you have beautiful green eyes. Anybody ever tell you that? You're adorable. Listen, thank you. Safe travels back to Michigan. Are you with a particular group? I noticed you have our the Right to Life insignia here.
We're just with the Lapeer group.
Okay.
Out of Lapeer, Michigan. We come down to that. It's one I've gone to. And we just pick up signs everywhere we go. The kids love to have the signs out and make a difference.
All right. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you, Nicole. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you back home in the home state of Michigan.
Thank you.
Back to you, Doug. We'll be here. We'll grab some more folks. And it's interesting to watch the different groups come by. I've already seen several groups from around the world. Of course, we interviewed the Canadian people earlier, but I saw some of my fellow Italianos from the Italy Pro-Life group and a few other countries represented as well. So we'll continue to interview, and we'll go back to you in the studio for now.
Very good. Thank you so much, Teresa. Again, we want to keep those images up on the screen. Studio hasn't changed too much, but you know, it's amazing with the March for Life right there. If you were watching our coverage from several years ago, that would look like we're just starting the march. But because of what we've been able to do technologically this year, we're actually at the front of the march throughout the march. And so we've had some glitches, but in the end, we're getting what we were hoping for, and we're hoping to allow people to really feel like they're participating in the march, not only the rally in the beginning of the march, but the actual entirety of the march ending at the Supreme Court. And also on the ground is our own Wyatt Goolsby from EWTN News Nightly. Wyatt, let's go to you.
Hey there, absolutely. Yes, we're still here on the corner of Constitution and Pennsylvania, where we have been talking with student groups as we have been talking about how young people are such an important part of the March for Life. And so we're out here, as you can see, all of the banners, all of the slogans, something that has become embedded here. I'm also talking with Todd Jackson here and his group. Todd, tell me a little about where you guys are from and what group you are with.
We're from Fort Wayne, Indiana, and we're with Concordia Lutheran High School with our Pro-Life group.
And so you tell me you've been here before, right?
Yes, this is my 3rd year.
So 3rd year. So tell me a little bit about this one. This is quite a contrast to last year where we had all the cold weather, right?
Yes. Last year it was really cold and everyone was kind of shivering, but you know, we all bundled together and supported the great cause.
Yeah. Tell me why that's so important, Todd, that you guys come out here year after year, as you have been doing, to stand up for the unborn.
Because this is the civil rights issue of our day, and our country was founded on life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And these babies are not getting a chance at either one of these 3, and I believe that isn't fair to anybody.
Okay, that's a good point, Todd. I want to also point out one thing. I don't know if you can see it from where I'm standing right here, but I wanted to point out this banner in particular. I am the pro-life generation. This banner, we've been seeing one of the most common ones from studentsforlife.org. Again, it's a common one, but we've been seeing a lot of people carrying it, something very important to so many groups like this one out here. We'll toss it back to you now.
Very good. Thank you so much, Wyatt. That's great. And again, Wyatt Goolsby from EWTN News Nightly in the midst of the march. And we'll be back with Teresa momentarily. Father, you were noting some of the banners of some of the groups passing by. You want to mention a couple you might have seen?
We saw the Sisters of Life, St. John the 23rd Seminary. I'm looking for John Carroll because our own Father John Paul rode the bus up there with them, as well as our cameraman's wife. Bo Owens, his wife Amy, is on that bus trip as well. So we're keeping our eye peeled for John Carroll High School.
Right, and the remnants of Mike Romano's family who may be in the midst there possibly as well with the Romano family banner. Now we're going to Teresa Tomeo once again with an interview.
Hi, Doug, and yes, we have another lovely family with us. We have Allison and her mom, Gail, from Rhode Island. And Gail, tell us a little bit why you come out every year.
Because we believe that pro-life is very important. We've got to get the message out, especially for families that are faced with decisions about whether to have children with disability. We're very blessed to have Allison in our life.
Allison, you were telling me it means a lot to you to be here and that you had a very special message you wanted to impart.
Yes, I want to say that to my friends, like to Kathy McVeigh, and the gym guest, then also my friend, my closest friend, and my Grammy DeSandra that is in Florida. I want to tell them both that how much I appreciate them, because I want to tell them both that I care about pro-life, and I really like to care about little kids and all these people here to support them, because I do believe, and I really believe that every kid needs a second chance in life, and definitely in pro-life, because like my friend Kathy Rigby always says, every kid, what is it Kathy always says?
Never give up.
Never give up,
right.
And never give up hope.
That's right.
Because in Peter Pan, she says, never grow old.
Well, boy, we all had your attitude about life. We'd be a lot better off now. There's a special sign you wanted to show me, right? Can you turn around and show our viewers? It says, Mom, thanks for having me. And Mike's going to pan out a little bit on this, Doug, so you can see it. But Allison, God bless you. It must mean a lot to you to be here, does it?
Yes, it does.
That's right.
And Grammy, Kathy, you always show me the light. And I'm showing these kids, and I'm showing these kids the meaning of the true meaning of pro-life, because like Kathy McVeigh always taught me, think happily, wonderful thoughts.
All right, there you go, sweetheart. Thank you. So nice meeting you. Gail, thanks. And